Yeah, just stay in your fucking lane, right? Don't come near my fucking women, right? That's all I fucking want. Don't fuck around with our women. Only the chosen one can win. That's fucking awesome. I'm feeling a little bit threatened comedically. Hello, so we're here with Hyde Panaser. How are you?
Yeah, hello. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Good to finally meet you.
Yeah, I know. I've been getting called Hyde for a little while now.
Yeah, so I thought so. I'm like, someone's been calling me Preet as well. I'm like,
who is this guy?
Who's this guy? Yeah, imposter.
I like that. There can only be room for one, like, bearded, brown, Asian dude.
That's true, and that is me because I'm older and you should respect your elders. Just remember that.
Sorry, uncle. I apologize. It's fucked up because I actually look older than you.
No, you don't.
You live a healthier lifestyle.
You've been like, you're like this tall. Well, obviously people can't see it.
Yeah.
You're like about a foot taller than me. I'm like, what have people been feeding their kids these days, man?
Bro, butter chicken. That's
butter chicken. Yeah, that protein.
Yeah, get all of that protein and fat and masala in you. How are you gonna grow up without any masala in you, bro?
That's true.
That should be a t-shirt. I'm telling you.
Well, get that masala in you.
Yeah, get that masala in you.
That's my Shadi.com pickup line. That is, get that masala.
Oh, are you actually on Shadi.com?
No, I'm not.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you can
anymore.
I tried brown.
But they're all as bad as each other, so
I tried brown dating apps, right? I tried Dill Mill.
Yeah, that's awful.
It's one of the worst experiences of my life.
It's awful. I've used that, and it is just, just kill me now as I swipe. As I swipe left or right to every woman, just kill me now. You know, I've got this game that I play. I shouldn't even probably say this, but I got this game that I play with a couple of mates of mine. I screenshot like people's profiles, and then I'll send them to them because you got the age at the bottom, the name and the age and the picture, and then I'll send them the picture and say, "How old do you think this one?" So we play this guess how old and 9 times out of 10, they cannot get it right. Because people put their ages up and you're like, you are not that age. You are at least 20 years older than that.
And people do. I've seen it as well, where it's like, oh, I'm 31. And you're like, auntie, that picture was taken. That picture was like at least taken. That's a 65 Rover in the background.
I'll show you a picture later and you tell me.
Oh, I'm down. This sounds like a fun game.
Yeah.
Me and my mates play more explicit games.
I'm sure you do. I'm gonna keep it halal.
Yeah, I like it. Like, you got an image to keep up, bro. I've gone MILF hunting on Tinder. That's always fun. See who can match with the oldest person. 63.
Wow.
I will show you later.
Okay, that is interesting.
Hey man, the date was going really well until she took out her teeth. Like,
yeah, hold these for a minute, will you? And hand me that straw.
There is something convenient about waking up in a nursing home.
Free drugs, bro.
Somebody note that down. That could actually be a decent bit. We've got a weird connection to Reading.
Yes, we have. Well, it's not that weird.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just we're just related. That's what we're going to find out by the end of this podcast. That we're family, long lost brothers, and you're like,
cha-cha.
Yeah. See, I'll go for the brothers, and he goes straight in with the uncle joke again. That's good. All right. We're changing nappies later. Oh,
show me fucking respect.
Yeah.
My mum says that to us whenever we used to get like a little bit rude to her.
Yeah.
And she used to get fucking vexed. It's the funniest thing my mum's ever said. She's like, look how you're talking to me, and there's still your like shitty nappy residue under my nails. And in Punjabi, that's a banger, isn't it? That's a banger of a line.
That is a good one. I was because when I was born, I nearly suffocated. So I'm like, you nearly killed me. That's my answer to everything.
Oh, I was cesarean. My mum still remembers the exact.
See, that's the connection we've got now. We were both cesarean.
No wonder we're both attention-seeking fucks.
Yeah. Is that the thing? Is that what happens? Apparently.
Yeah. You just like.
That's
think about how dramatic that birth is.
Yeah, that is.
Isn't it?
Yeah, but not for. Yeah, okay. But I don't remember it.
No, same. I mean,
that would have been weird if you did, mate.
I was like, well, bro, I remember this. There was a lot of blood and the screaming. I remember the nurse was
taking a weird turn, man. Talking about our burps, but at least we got that link. So.
Hey man, the nurse was kind of hard. Like she spanked me, and I was like, "Ooh, BDSM." Oh, I hope my mom doesn't watch this episode. She's gonna be like, "Oh,
I'm sorry, Auntie G. It's not.
Oh, you know, but then I'll bet. Oh, what are they talking about? Oh man, that's amazing.
I linked to Reading though.
Yes, I linked to fucking good segue.
It's not about the cesareans. We both. Well, you lived there, and I went to college there.
Yeah,
and we both know the curses that have been put on.
I know. I
Reading.
can't. It's so weird. I'm able to speak to this with somebody. Like,
I'm happy to speak to someone because everyone who randomly lived there had never heard of this.
Oh, there's
and trust an Indian to know about all the jaddu.
Yeah, the jaddu. I remember my mum was like super like freaked out by that story I was telling you off camera with the.
That would freak me out.
That was fun. So basically, my mum used to work in this fucking building where she went in at like 6 a.m. Right, so she went in at 6 a.m. Her and her friend, so there's two of them together. Yeah. They unlock this building. They're about to start fucking work, and they see somebody go across the landing. Right, so they're climbing the stairs, and they both see somebody go across the landing.
It's too freaky.
This old dude, and she described it like vividly. Old dude, white wispy like fucking hair here. Yeah. Dressed real smart in an overcoat. Right. They run back downstairs, thinking the building's been broken into. And they get the caretaker / security guard kind of guy to have a little look around. He's looking around. The building's all locked, sealed. Alarm logs, like alarm hasn't gone off during the night or anything. And later, somebody that day, they mentioned it to somebody else who'd been like working there for fucking years. They were like, "Yeah, no, this building's haunted by the first ever caretaker that was here." And my mum and her friend basically say that without prompting or anything. Yeah. They were like, "Oh, was it a dude, older dude with a trench coat?" They quit. Both of them quit the next day.
And that was the college. That was the college. The building was the college that I went to.
That's fucking
the art and design school.
Insane. And it
was a bit freaky, I gotta say.
Yeah, you were saying about the noises and shit.
Yeah, so my man used to get in early all the time, and he's a fine artist. And he always used to say there was some weird noises that would come from the other rooms that was apparently supposed to be. But at that time, you just think, oh, it's just like pipes and shit like that, really.
I have. So somebody told me this story, but they were fucking adamant, right?
Yeah.
So I can't like fucking verify it, but they were adamant that the person was working in this. So my friend's friend was working in this pub. Yeah. Right. And his pub was reputed to be haunted. It's like one of the oldest pubs in England, up by Newcastle, right? And they were saying their friend took a job, and everybody was like, "Oh, that place is haunted. Don't take the job." And she was like, "Fuck off! Like I'm a scientist. I don't believe in this shit." Right? And after a few weeks of working there, she was carrying these cases of glasses. Yeah. Down to the basement. She's taken like 8 or 9 of them down. And as soon as she's taken the last one, and what she says is she was climbing back up the stairs, and she hears like a massive crash. In the basement.
I would not go back down, man.
And her not believing ghosts and shit, she was like, "Oh, I've probably broken like a bunch of glasses." Goes back down to find them all stacked up in a fucking pyramid. I know, that's creepier than then just being shattered, because you could say that like, you know, they were broken. And she swears blind, and this like scientist, fucking atheist chick, don't believe in any like supernatural shit. She quit her job. She left that evening. She was like, "I can't do this."
Wow. I would have ran out, man. Yeah. Straight to the good daughter. Please save me. Yeah. Please save me.
I need prashad. That's the type of shit that would make you take Umrah.
I'll be sprinkling that stuff on me, man. That's scary.
Have you got any like paranormal stories yourself?
I've got a weird one, which it involved me and my 2 cousins, and we were heading to a gig. I used to DJ before, and then so we were heading to a gig, and it was I don't know in Southall if you've heard of Iron Bridge. Have you heard of Iron Bridge?
I have heard of it, but I'm not.
You heard of Iron Bridge? Oh, okay. There's this bridge that's made of iron, and apparently it's called Iron Bridge. Right. So some of people, the local people, probably know this, right? But and it's a train bridge. Everyone go, and there's traffic always passing underneath it. There's traffic lights either side, and the car had stopped. And there's pavement either side as well with the railing. On the opposite side, so we're stopped at the traffic lights. On the opposite side, we all see this figure, about 7 foot tall, draped in a black cloth, like a silky kind of satiny cloth, even though all over the face.
Yeah.
But you can see like the indents of an eyes and like the nose coming out a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's literally all you can see. So you know it's a face. The lights go green. All the cars start moving. As we go, the face just follows us. Like it just turns from one side to the other.
And all three of you saw?
We all saw this, but no one mentions it until... So this is from... it's around sort of Ealing Hospital, all the way down to... We were going to Ealing. And no one mentioned it until we got into like West Ealing, which is like about 15 minutes down the road. And we all kind of go... Did someone, did you guys? And we all had to say, yeah, did you see that? Like that figure? Like we all didn't want to, but this like chill just went up our spines.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what it was. And it felt like the rest of the cars were slowing down to look at it as well. So it didn't even feel like we were the only people that saw it.
And it was like 7 foot tall.
Yes, really, yeah, probably, but yeah.
Maybe it was like Michael Jordan in a burqa.
Yeah. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, someone in a burqa." I'm like, nah, that was.
I get what you're saying.
But yeah, that's one of the probably the most memorable.
I had one at uni that really freaked me out, and I acknowledge like it was probably just my brain, right?
Yeah.
This is one of them ones where it's like my brain. So it's like I was asleep. I used to go to bed really fucking late at uni. It was about 4 in the morning.
So normal time.
Yeah. I went to bed at 4 in the morning because I'm real fucking hard.
That's early, bro.
And, I went to sleep, and about an hour or so later, I'm still half awake, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I went to go turn, and I see somebody at the bottom of my bed. Right?
What?
I freak the fuck out. I fling off my... I sleep with a gumball because I'm dissy.
Yeah.
And
Has it got a line or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's standard.
Leopard print gumball, bro.
There we go, yeah.
And, I fling it off, like I'm proper panic, and I always keep an axe. Like,
How do you randomly just say, "Oh yeah, by the way, I sleep with a gumball and an axe on the other side of my..."
Bro, this is something my mum...
Like,
this is something...
petals on the gumball, leather on the axe.
I feel like this is something, I swear down to you, right? I feel like this is something that my mum's like instilled. I've been talking a lot about my mum on this podcast.
Yeah. She's Mummy G.
Yeah. She's like, she used to, because my dad used to work nights, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't, growing up, we didn't live in the nicest area.
Okay.
And she always used to keep something, and it's just like stuck with me, right?
Yeah.
And even to this day, I keep a fucking axe. Because I don't understand people that keep like a karshi. Like, what are you going to do with a stirring spoon?
Who keeps a karshi?
Bro, there's a fucking... Oh, man.
It's normally like a piece of wood or a hammer.
Yeah, I mean, but what's a hammer really going to do? Like,
That can do a lot of damage.
Come on, like,
not that I know of.
Yeah, okay, right. We've gone over your drug dealing past. Yeah, so I, long story short, I keep an axe because childhood issues. And so I grabbed the fucking axe, and there's literally nobody there.
Right.
But I'm fucking freaked the fuck out.
Is this in like halls or like a rented?
In halls,
okay.
yeah. And I'm freaked the fuck out, right? I'm like super like, what the fuck was
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Like it was fully a dude. Like in my brain, it was a
Fully
dude.
formed.
Yeah, a dude. To the point where I even went outside to check that my fucking door was locked, searched the actual kitchen and shit, right? I was that like freaked out.
Bloody hell.
Everybody's asleep. Lights are... Oh, and the worst thing was, you know how the corridor lights are automatic?
Yeah.
The corridor lights were on.
So someone had already been out there.
So somebody was out there or something, right?
Oh, you could see under the door. Okay,
I could see under the door because the light. And that's what made me think it was actually somebody. And in the commotion, I've just not seen them go outside, kind of thing, right? So I've checked the whole
from
thing.
getting out of your flower printed company to picking up your axe.
They were like,
the guys just left.
And
Like, this guy's got an axe. I'm leaving.
They saw me lying on like a gumball with flower petals and shit all over it. They're like, this dude's an easy prey. And then there's a fucking axe.
How big is this axe? I'm more interested in the axe than the actual apparition.
So it's like a hand axe. So
it's
not like a...
okay.
It's not...
I thought it was like a double-headed Viking axe or something. This is what I go to... It's just a pickaxe. Really.
Yeah. It's like so. I'll
It's
show
a nice
you.
pick, isn't it?
No, I'll show you. I'll show you after the podcast.
Okay.
I've got it here.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah. Well, here's mine too.
If they ever stop me, I'd just be like, look, man, it's part of my religion.
Yeah. I have to keep a weapon on me.
I'm in this sect of Sikhism, right? Instead of kripans or daggers, I have to keep an axe.
Keep axes. Yeah, that's right.
So that really freaked me out for a couple of days. But then I woke up that day to find out somebody in different halls had fucking jumped out of a window and killed themselves.
Wow.
All the way on the other side of campus, right?
But what was this man? Was he like a youngish man then?
So again, it was a simple because it was darkish, but there was light coming through the curtains because it was like almost morning. I couldn't see like exact face, but it was a dude with mousy brown hair. I saw that.
Okay.
And it was all black, right? Wearing all black, but you could see hands. And shit. So that's what like really freaked me the fuck out because it was so in detail.
Wow.
And I was like, and I went home that fucking day because I was that freaked out
with your axe.
Yeah.
And your combo. And that mommy.
Some shit happened. I didn't get to use my axe.
Oh wow.
Man. Watch once this podcast.
That's freaky though.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I think it's that thing of when you're like half asleep as well, and then it's like when you like have those dreams where you fall into bed.
Yeah.
But you haven't really, obviously. You just kind of
exactly.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that moment where you think, "What the hell is going on?" Like that.
It's got to be something like that. Like it's got to be something like psychological. Like, have you heard about sleep paralysis?
Yeah. Or in India, it's called the bar.
What's it called?
The bar.
Is it?
Have you not heard?
No.
The bar on that, like, you know, basically it's like, when you feel like a weight on you and you can't move and people think you're possessed or something.
Oh shit.
But now obviously science has debunked it.
Yeah,
so it's like a thing. Yeah.
Some of the fucking stories from India are fucking mad.
Definitely.
My mum used to tell me one. They used to say that they're fucking hell. How many times am I going to mention my mum in this podcast? I haven't mentioned her once in 12 episodes. I get another brand.
I feel like I know your mum really well now.
I feel like everybody does. She's going to be like, oh look, I told you to keep your name out of my mouth. Like,
we could just replace, like, you can come to my house and no one would know the difference. My mum hardly ever recognizes me anyway. So you could just go in.
I fucking, let's
and then I'll go to yours.
Yeah. Oh,
with the axe. Give me the axe.
Yeah,
then she'll know that, it's Miramundaga.
No, so they used to have a thing about, they have like a lot of murders in their village.
Oh, okay.
Because there was like a fucking...
No wonder you moved to England, man.
Or
like your mum and dad.
There was like a blood feud in their village.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Basically just these two fucking families just going at it, like medieval style.
Are you sure you weren't told the plot to like a Bollywood movie?
Oh,
because I swear there's that Singer's King or something like that does the same plot line.
Do you want to hear something actually? Forget about all that paranormal nonsense. Right? I saw. I like how I've got you onto the podcast to just talk at you, basically.
It's fine.
I can
cool.
finally.
I'm enjoying these stories about your mum and your axe and your cumble. This is.
I finally got like a brown dude that we could go brown with it. There's none of this like this Kate.
Cardigal hona ho gaya na. That's it.
Yeah, Cardigal. And so. I saw a tweet yesterday that was like, tell us like a crazy story about your immigrant family.
Okay.
Right? I'm not sure if you follow me on Twitter, so you may not have seen this, right?
No, I haven't. No.
So we'll talk about that after.
Okay. That was a proper dig. Like, I don't think you follow me on Twitter. Like, why haven't you done it already? Like,
the podcast is just a secret way that I can build a Twitter following. I get brown guests on and I'm like, look, plug my Twitter page. So somebody asked that, and like there was loads of fucking interesting like responses to that.
Yeah.
But my response, I thought was fucking insane. And hand on heart is a true story, right?
Okay.
Hand on heart. My mum and my mum and my nan and my mussy, my auntie, they were left in India while her brothers and her dad moved over to get established, get a house, and then they were going to come out.
Yeah.
This was in the 70s, right? They've got all of this like crazy shit going on. There's like a lot of like duckles about as well, isn't there?
Okay,
like, like little groups of bandits and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And somebody wrote a letter to my nonna, to my mum's dad, basically saying, if by this date you don't give us X money, we're going to kidnap your family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So proper ransom, like
proper ransom note, and like letters,
like that kind of thing.
like proper. Yes, yeah, exactly. Like
I swear you've been told a Bollywood story, man.
Bro, I've seen the fucking letter. They've still got the letter.
Wow.
Yeah. So somebody has sent that, and they reckon it wasn't an actual like thing. Like they had like old historical beef with somebody. They were trying to shit him up. Or
someone was just bluffing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what my nana did was, right, and to this day, we laugh about it as like cousins, like in the yoga, because we're like, what the fuck, man? What my nana did was he wrote back a letter saying that this letter will probably reach you in a week's time, right? And he goes, I will be in the village square in a week's time at this time.
Wow.
Right? This guy,
that's the most British response to a ransom note ever. It's like, I'm going to write you a strong letter, and I will meet you outside in the courtyard.
Bro, this guy goes, he takes an emergency fucking flight, leaves his fucking job. There was no like holiday.
Yeah, there's no holidays at that time because you're an immigrant and you just work, innit?
This guy leaves his fucking job, right? Takes a flight to India. And spends the first 2 days of his time there trying to source a fucking, because he had to give all of his like guns and shit away. Sources a fucking revolver and a fucking
axe
bar on board.
So please tell me that axe has been passed down through generations of village feuds. It's the that would have been the perfect backstory to your axe. This is the axe of my nana. This is what he used when he left his job, went back to the pin, couldn't source a gun, but found Thor's axe or something. I don't know. That would.
You can only the chosen.
No, that's the only way you can end this story now.
Only the chosen one can win.
Yes, you are literally Odin's son.
Oh my God.
And your brother's name's Loki, isn't it? That's why he's.
I've got the hair and everything. I'm like Brown Thor.
Yeah, you are literally him. This
guy writes a fucking. That was just gonna be anticlimactic. This guy sources a fucking revolver and a shotgun, right? Goes and stands in the village square, lets off 6 rounds, and is like, "Who wants it?"
Wow.
Bro,
no one came.
No, there was no more letters. There was just nothing. Everybody left them alone after that shit.
Shit, I'm gonna do that with the parents that park in front of my driveway. I'm gonna source some sort of firecrackers or something. It's Chinese New Year, so I can get some of those bangers and just go out there. Who wants some? Stop parking in front of my driveway.
You got to write a letter first.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you got to do.
No, I've done that. I've done the email version of it.
We used to laugh as like cousins in the family. We used to laugh at it because it was just like they'd tell these stories and you're just like, bro, was this guy?
Wow, that is an awesome story though.
Yeah, I was like, what is this guy? There's fucking so many of them shits, man.
You need to add that. The axe bit. That's the backstory to your. Yeah. And then this is how I received this axe.
Let's reshoot this whole thing. Let's just get this shit going.
That is hilarious.
Oh, bro. I haven't laughed that hard in a while, man. That was fantastic.
You're welcome.
That was fucking awesome. I'm feeling a little bit threatened comedically.
This is why you brought me on to bring me down.
I know. I was really hoping we were going to record a really bad episode. I mean, 63% of this fucking recording is just me laughing and crying.
Oh man, no, that is an awesome story.
I feel like I should tell that story to Lawrence Fox.
I don't think he would believe you.
No, he'd be like, "What's a Sikh?"
Like, yeah, what's a Sikh? There's a Sikh? There's more than one?
It's them Muslims with the turbans, yeah.
To be fair, when he came out with that comment, I was like thinking, well, he's saying one Sikh, but we all know one Sikh equals to Savalak. So
that's just not going to be funny to anybody but us.
Yeah, sorry. That basically, it's always said that one Sikh is equal to 250,000, a quarter million.
Quarter million, yeah.
which is 250,000.
We're both fucking retarded.
Yeah, we're Asian. We should know numbers. Like, what the hell is going on?
Don't let my day job see it. They'll sack me. This guy doesn't know $250,000 from 250,000.
Yeah. But I mean,
what did you actually make of his comments then? So for anybody who's listened that doesn't know, he went on Question Time. How he got relevant? Do you know how he got relevance?
Apparently he was on Question
Time.
Some sort of actor, and then he was on that Question Time. Then he made a comment about being privileged and white is being racist to him. If someone says that he's
being
white and privileged
and white
is racist to him, and then like out of left field, like a day or two later, he just goes, "Why is there a Sikh soldier in a British movie or a movie about British soldiers? Like, how dare they bring in a brown person?" I'm like, I was just like a bit dumbstruck because he's an actor, and surely he has a phone that has Google on it.
But Twitter's better than Google now. That's where you should find all of your facts.
All the fake news. But I couldn't understand why or how in this day and age how there's the amount of information out there, and like clearly he had not ever seen any news up until that point or any history up until that point. Because
I actually thought so his Sikh comments. If we go with the Sikh comments first, I think that exposes ignorance. So he's a privately educated dude, went to Harrow and fucking Eton or whatever. I think it was Eton. I can't remember.
But I think in some cases that's worse because you aren't taught this in school.
That's it. That's the point. I think
that's the only defense that you could probably pull out for him is that you're not taught this in school.
But then I immediately thought because his comments essentially amounted to like it just took me out of the film. Like it distracted me. I'm like, you're distracted by somebody's race.
See,
film.
Well, clearly,
I mean,
he's white and privileged, so that would it's like, how did this brown person get into this set? Like, what is going on?
He's like, I'm out of work, and they've got a cast of brown dudes instead.
Yeah. They've got the tea guy to come and get onto the truck. What I couldn't understand though was I saw the little clip that he said that it distracted and stuff like that, and there was a moment where he's saying he was kind of trying to. It sounded like he was trying to say, "Oh, there should have been more brown people in there," and I was thinking, "All right, you're saving it," and then he's like, "But it just like," and then he said something else that just kind of threw out the whole comment, and it's like, "Mate, you just need." I don't understand it.
That was my whole thing. I genuinely didn't get the point he was trying to make. So let's say if somebody who's out and out racist went on and said, I dislike there being a brown person in this film, I wouldn't have agreed with it, but it would have made sense. Oh,
he's racist.
You're
anyway.
Racist. Yeah. That's why you didn't want the brown guy in. But then the point that fucking was it? No, it's not Andrew. Lawrence Fox.
Yeah.
Fucking.
That's a whole different.
All these white people.
They all look the same, don't they?
He basically the point that he was trying to make, and I think this is what he was doing, was that the story. What I think happened was he was unaware of the history. He assumed that this dude was only cast as a diversity casting.
Yeah.
And he took umbrage with that, which I think is a different point. But then you can't start making opinions and like getting them out there based on ignorance.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that he might have had an issue with someone just ticking a box, because I have issues with those as well, right? But the point that he was actually he was oblivious to the history, regardless, because there was so many Sikhs that died in the World War alongside English soldiers, and they were in the same regiments as well. I don't understand if he knows his own history. For example, if he's talking about there were only white soldiers in the army, he should have reading that history somewhere along that line. Even the Prime Minister at that time in the Second World War. He mentioned Sikhs.
Yeah.
So having been from that same background as privately educated, they would have mentioned Churchill.
Yeah.
Along the way. I know it's the Second World War, but was he second? He was second.
He was second, yeah.
So I don't understand how he could have missed those parts, if he was read up on. He's just literally seeing a brown person on screen and think, hold on a minute, they don't belong there.
Yes.
And that's literally his thought processes. They don't belong there.
I struggle to see what other thought processes there could have been.
I think if you've read a book, or you, and no, but the crazy thing is, he just came out and said it without actually doing any research into it.
That's the thing. So rather than twigging in the film, like let's say there's a film about fucking India or something, right?
Yeah.
Punjab.
Yeah.
In like 1800 under Maharaja Ranjit Singh or something.
Yeah.
And I saw a white guy in there. My first instinct wouldn't be like, oh, these white actors are taking all these fucking roles.
Yeah.
It'd be, whoa, there was a white guy there?
Yeah. And my first port of call would go to Google and like, try and find out whether there were white people there.
Yeah.
And if they weren't, which they were, but if they weren't, then I'd be like, oh, look, this is like a proper diversity quoted kind of thing.
It's that whole thing now, and I think this is a wider point as well. I think there's a whole thing of, well, free speech, that means my opinion can just be put out there without me having to correct any ignorance. And if my opinion's ignorant, well, it's my opinion and free speech. And it's like, yeah, but I mean, if you do that, I'm allowed to call you a fucking idiot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, free speech, all for it, but then you've got to expect that there's another side to that. And if you're talking without facts, you should shut up.
Yeah.
You should expect that someone is gonna school you.
Yeah. And I do think that he almost half redeemed himself. He didn't redeem himself fully because I don't think. So he issued an apology. Yeah, and it was I didn't like the fact that it seemed like a half-assed apology.
Completely. I think it was. I don't believe the apology because I think, people make mistakes. That's fine.
Yeah. But
to come out and say that without any backing, on the platform that you are on, it's like, say something, but make sure you've got a backing to it. Don't just come out and say it and think, and then backtrack, later on.
It's the same with his interview on GMB, Good Morning with Piers Morgan, was the fact that he was almost trying to defend his thought process rather than being like, actually, fair play, I'm a fucking idiot, right?
Yeah, even in that time from saying those other things and then going on, you should have been like, what have I said? Have I said? Because it would have, gone crazy on his social media. Yeah. And it did. So maybe he should have done a bit. Yeah. That's why I don't believe the apology. It's kind of like I'm one of you now. Yeah. Because I've managed to find out that from other Sikhs that there were Sikhs fighting in the war, and I'm sorry that I said it.
Exactly.
I have nothing against you, but clearly you did.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. It's just a weird time just in general because you've got this like weird backlash. I call them like Katie Hopkins spunk. Like
I nearly spat my water out. I mean,
do you remember she was like she's like daddy to these fuckers, right? No, she is like she basically came across. She went on this fucking reality TV show, got like a little bit of a platform, and then discovered, I can get a platform,
and I can just chat as much crap as I want.
I'll keep building. Like I was thinking, I was seeing like so she took a lot of like, oh man, if you're ever bored or you need like. Or you need some like comedic inspiration. Go on to Katie Hopkins' Twitter and read through the replies.
I just see.
Don't read the replies. Just the replies.
The replies are funny. Yeah.
There was one from this fucking dude. Like clearly, like in the like 90s, he was like a football hooligan, right? He had the like shitty tattoos.
Oh, okay.
And fucking, he's wearing like a fucking like polo shirt. He's somewhere abroad, like fucking lads, right? Fucking lads. Don't fucking ignore my fucking titties, right? That kind of dude. Yeah. England flags in his bio, and he'd written something like, "You're so right." Oh, separate line, and brave and beautiful woman.
Did you mean you're so white and brave and beautiful woman?
And then in his replies on that, I went deep on this shit. People were like, "Yeah, she is really like."
You do get bored quite.
they were like, yeah, she's a looker and like all of this shit. I'm paraphrasing it, but bro, it was a fun. I was like, these people are either retarded or they need like glasses. Like, what the fuck?
Probably both.
Both. And yeah, I don't know. So she's like the original, but there are like a lot of people who are getting a platform from this nonsense.
Well, Piers isn't any better either.
With Piers, the only reason I struggle is I feel like he has an opinion. Right?
Yeah, but it's always like every mild time, maybe once in a blue moon, he might say something that is understandable.
Yeah.
Most 99% of the time, he's just like, even just recently when he done the Chinese, the mocking of the Chinese accent. That was literally probably the day or the 2 days after Lawrence Fox had just been on about mocking.
And he was calling him out, yeah.
And it's like, what are you like? Is your brain not connected to your mouth? Is that what's happened?
Oh, yeah, I don't understand that either.
And they also, on top of that, they've had like over 1,000 complaints on that, and I haven't seen anything being done about it.
Yeah, okay, fair.
And that's not free speech.
Yes, that's just straight out and out mocking.
Yeah. I mean, what Lawrence Fox done? All right, fine. He's got a platform and he can say what he wants to say, and he has obviously. But it's again, it's like you're having a go at something that actually is history.
Yeah, yeah. With the Piers and the Chinese thing, I was like, what? There's like no argument. Like, this is just straight up racism.
It is literally. That's what the co-host was saying. It's like 1970s, like sort of mind your language type sort of thing.
Yeah,
that's before your
way
time.
Before my time. I fucking agree.
Yeah. Ask your mum.
I was about to
ask your mum, and she would have watched Mind Your Language.
I was debating dropping in like a Bernard Manning reference.
Well, no, that's the same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing. All right, yeah, we'll go with that. But the age gap, man. But yeah, I mean, it was straight up just like that's just not what you would.
Yeah, and I do feel like we need to create I'm not sure if we need to create an environment. Actually, I feel like we need to create an environment, and I think
where we can send all these people.
A new Australia.
New Australia. That would be good.
No, but Australia's too nice. That'd be like paradise. We need to send them somewhere like weird.
No. Yeah, but we need to send them to the most dangerous part of Australia, where as soon as you step on,
where they're not the only snakes.
Yeah, but they're the only ones that have no venom, apart from the shit that they spew. But the thing is, yeah, they just need to go somewhere. And the only other thing is that it gets ratings, and that's what. I think it's all about money at the end of it.
I think that's what it is. That clip, as soon as I heard Piers Morgan had said something racist, I was looking for that clip. I was all in Piers Morgan's Twitter feed and shit. But what I was going to say is I feel like we need to create an environment where it's okay to be wrong. And if it's sincere and like you can apologize and shit, it's kind of like, okay, fine. Because I've told racist jokes before. Yeah. Some have fucking killed, and I've been like, yes. But I'll tell you, one of the like, I think one of the most racist jokes I've ever told.
Yeah,
is I was doing.
You're gonna say this out loud? Are we gonna have a Piers Morgan?
Fuck it, man. It's my podcast. I don't give a shit.
All right, let's hear this.
So it was the whole scenario was that we were doing a panel show, but there were gaps in the panel show. Right, it was like a live film panel show for this.
Okay,
in a small room, 60 seated. Right.
Yeah.
I was doing crowd work in between when they were setting up cameras and shit and blah blah blah. And
were you on the panel show or were you on?
I was on the panel show. Yeah,
okay, yeah,
they were setting up cameras and shit, and I was just doing a little bit of crowd work in the thing, right, in the room. It was a real small production, I should say. Like, it wasn't like a TV panel show.
Okay,
it was like for somebody's YouTube.
You're underselling it now.
So I was just doing a little bit of crowd work just because there was like long gaps, and I was just chatting to people, blah blah blah. And it was around the election time. And I asked this Chinese dude, I go, "Who are you going to vote for?" Right, and he goes, Liberal Democrats. And I went, that's typical of you yellows sticking together. Right? He lost his like shit. He found it hilarious.
He found it hilarious.
Him and his missus.
Oh,
both. I later found on that they were actually Chinese. I'm not just being doubly racist.
Okay,
they were Chinese, and he found it fucking hilarious. Right?
Okay,
both of them laughing their asses off. Few people in the crowd were also laughing. Probably about half the crowd.
Yeah.
Half weren't.
Yeah.
And I asked this lady. I was like, "You didn't find that funny?" I was like, why? And because I was generally just interested.
Going on to this,
I was just interested. Okay. And then she was like, A, I wasn't sure if I could laugh, and B, I didn't want to like feel like I was supporting that kind of like language.
Sounds about 90% of my gigs right there.
I know. Bro, you should have seen my white people stuff on Wednesday. It was so, which I understood, but then I started chatting to her about it. I was like, then I started chatting to the dude, and he was like, oh, it was actually quite funny, and he was like, we're not idiots, we're aware of that stereotype.
I think, well, okay, so would they have felt differently if it was a non-ethnic white comic? let's just say it straight, right? Yeah. Would they have? Do you think they would have felt differently if it was a white comic doing that, said that joke, or do they? Because there's got to be there's got to be a level of empathizing there, where they think, okay, you're ethnic, we're ethnic. You've had a similar struggle to what we've had, so it's okay. We can talk about this and we can laugh about it.
In reality, I think yes, but I always think that that's wrong.
Okay.
So I think comedians in a comedy club, wherever, should be allowed to say whatever they like.
Yeah.
If you find it funny, you laugh, blah blah blah, and there shouldn't be any repercussions based on that. Whether you're white, straight, gay, whatever. Yeah. Everybody, I feel like, should be entitled to that blank slate, and the only requirement is make us laugh.
But is it though?
No, in reality, it's not.
No, but is it just that? Is it as a comedian's job? Is it just to make someone laugh, or is it to strike a thought process? And so, for example, if people feel uncomfortable, I think that you need to question why do they feel uncomfortable. So, because I do gigs where I'll say something to provoke, sometimes to get that awkward feeling in the room, and it's like, well, actually, you're bringing that to the table. What I've said is a joke, and it's funny, but your preconceptions are bringing that to the table. Yeah. So the reason why that woman didn't laugh, because she was saying that, oh, I didn't know whether it was right to laugh. Yeah. But really, what she's really saying is that I thought it was funny, but I didn't want them to see that I was laughing. Yeah. I'm kind of with you on that. Which I think it opens up another sort of door of things like, so people will laugh at you if you're that way inclined, but not in front of your face. Which means that people are racist behind your back. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Because I laugh at racist shit. I laugh at dark humour. For example, I laugh at paedophilia. But there's also got... and I'll never support paedophilia. Do you get what I'm saying? No, I know. But the thing is, though, it's got to be... The context has got to be right. So if you were doing that joke on Good Morning Britain, or if you were doing that joke, in another capacity when you're presenting quite an important show... Yes. It wouldn't be construed as funny, but because you're doing it on that platform, that's where it should be allowed. I'm totally with you on that. Yeah. So I feel like that should be limited to comedians in the same way it's limited to films. Yeah. I.e., if a film on slavery is produced, and they're using bad language or portraying things that actually happened, you can't then go and say, well, the producers, this person, the actors are racist. Yeah. Because it's in the form of art. Yeah. Whereas somebody like Piers Morgan, I feel like he has a responsibility to present, and I don't feel like that should be extended. Yeah, he shouldn't leak into the verges of comedy or any other job. Your job is to present, so do that. Yeah, and I feel like if that agreement was like understood by everyone, like in society, that comedians... then I think we'd have a very peaceful world. And we wouldn't be able to say racist jokes, but because there would be no racism. Yeah, I mean, a healthy amount of racism is always quite nice. Sometimes... I think everyone is racist on some level. Whether they realise it or not. Speaking of race, did you see the guy's Syra Khan? Is it Syra Khan? Fuck, I used to work with her husband as well. The chick on Loose Women. You seriously have a lot of time, man. I don't even get that much time to watch Loose Women. No, I don't watch Loose Women. I watched that once because I thought it was completely something else, and I was... And after that, I did not watch it. Loose Women. I like that. No, so they had like an interesting... Guz Khan... It turned into Dill Mill after that. Yeah. Guz and Syra are now married. So they had 6 cousins. 6 babies.
No, six cousins. Jesus Christ. Maybe I am fucking racist, isn't it?
That came off the top, that did.
Why? I fucking love Guz Khan as well.
He was a top bloke and you just went straight up in there.
Six cousins. He did a really funny bit about... one of the things about offence as well...
Offence.
Offence.
I
yeah.
thought it said offence. So this, look, I know I'm Indian, I can build shit, but like, come on.
In my spare time, I put offences.
Social offences do not come into my personal zone.
I put on racial offences.
They're black and white.
Yellows over there, blacks there, whites there, browns there. That's my ideal society.
What, everyone stays in their box?
Yeah, just stay in your fucking lane, right? Don't come near my fucking women, right? That's all I fucking want. Don't fuck around with our women. Oh man, I've got.
There's a lot that we're working through with.
We are.
This is taking a weird. I feel like I've done the psychology degree, and
you've definitely brought out the worst in me.
All those issues from the axe to the.
Yeah, I mean it's fucking impressive. Offencing comedy, right? Yeah. I always used to question, how would I react if somebody did a joke about like Sikhism or like Punjabi people or whatever? And then did you see Andrew Schultz's crowd work special?
No, I haven't seen it.
There was a clip where he was talking about Sikhism on stage.
Okay.
Right, so he had a friend and blah, blah, blah. And he was talking about the qada, right?
Yeah.
And he was going into like the depth of the meaning and shit. And then out of nowhere, and he went, do you know what that means in 2020? And he went over all of the history about why the qada is like that. He goes, do you guys know what the meaning is in 2020?
Yeah.
He was like, it's there to prevent wrist burn on the Uber or something when you're driving the Uber. And my reaction was, without thinking or anything, I just laughed. I was like, that's funny. And then I was like, yes. And then me and Dumman talked about it as well.
Okay.
When I saw Dumman, I was like, did you see it? And he was like, yeah. I was like, it's funny, wasn't it? It's funny.
It is funny. And it's funny because, and if people who get offended by it are just putting truth to the punchline.
Yes,
because there is that connotation, because like some people just wear it because they don't know really what it means.
Yeah, and
their family is just you got to put it on because that's what it means to be Sikh.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what he's breaking down. And it's a funny joke. If he's gone, and also it also depends on how that person approaches it. If they just kind of go in on it for no particular reason, and don't have a context to it, or don't have like a setup and punch, then that would be offensive. Yeah,
it's like when you're roasting somebody in the crowd, you know that there's a level that you don't want to take it to, innit? Where it's like where they and the audience feel like, okay, he's just attacking.
Yeah, because you don't go on stage and go, you're fat, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, and you might. But there's a all right, even if you are gonna, there's a style to doing it.
Yes.
And also you have to you kind of bring them along for the journey. But I'm gonna come and see you do crowd work now. That is.
Oh man, I've gone in on people. Occasionally, I did. I made a heckler leave not too long ago.
That's all right. After a heckler,
he was being a real fucking dick. So the act before me was at the Blackout in up the creek.
Oh yeah.
He was being a real dick to the act before.
Oh, okay.
And the act before mentioned that he was bisexual, and like murmuring started, and it was this drunk older white dude, right? And he was clearly super drunk, like he was like off his nut.
Yeah,
right?
but I don't think that's an excuse though. You shouldn't drink if you can't handle it.
Yes, especially in a fucking comedy club. And then I was going up next, but I kind of knew. I was kind of like, okay, let's see what happens here. Like I made it just like fucking bomb, whatever. And I decided that I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it on my terms.
Yeah.
Opened up, went in on him, right? So I asked him, there was a black chick sat next to him, and he was really fucking mouthing off, right? This black chick sat next to him, and I was like, I have never seen a black chick look so uncomfortable since that R. Kelly documentary. And these people start laughing, then he starts chirping up. Long story short, I hit him with
with your axe. By the power of Grayskull! I was like, but that's too fucking old for you as well.
No, He-Man.
Yeah, no, thank God. I thought I had to go Power Rangers reference or something.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I saw the black and whites. So he's like, he starts like talking, and I made this. I was like, "Are you like?" He said something that I couldn't hear or understand. And it was totally incoherent. I was like, "Are you drunk or are you having a stroke?" Right? Went in on him a little bit. Then he decides to make a whole show of leaving.
Yeah.
And then I started singing "Na na 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 goodbye," and the audience, some of them joined in, some of them didn't. As he was leaving, he turned around to say something, and he shouted it in again. Couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Say goodbye to Dave." His name was actually Dave.
Oh, right.
I was like, "Say goodbye to Dave. The next time we see him, will be at his wake." Right? Because
you went dark with that. Yeah, okay.
Again, some people went, "Ooh," and that time I did feel on stage I'd pushed it a little bit too far.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like,
yeah, you feel it because the audience would let you know straight away.
Yeah, some people laughed, some people went like visibly were like, ah.
You caused visible. That's good. That's good.
Like seriously, there was like a woman that sat to the left of stage, and I remember this. I said that, and she went. I was like,
that's always a good reaction. When you can get people to go, move with your comedy. That's
and then a couple of the acts did call me a bully afterwards as well.
Did they?
Yeah.
No, you made him leave. That's good because otherwise you would have done that the whole way through.
Yeah, and it would have just been awful. But yeah, that was the actual like kind of they tried not to call me a bully, but they did. Like,
it was that guy, innit?
Yeah, it's just fucking. I was like, yeah. Like, at least I fucking dealt with the cunt.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. If you hadn't dealt with him, and it always takes a sing to do it.
I've seen Paul Chowdhury do it, fam. He's my inspiration when it comes to that kind of shit.
No. I mean, he does go on people straight. Like, but I don't think he's made people leave. Oh, I don't know.
I mean, he's been doing this shit for 40 years.
Well. No, but that's all right. It's fine if they leave, though. If they're going to be, because they would have been. Like, it sounds like he would have been disruptive the whole way.
Yeah. What's your views on offending comedy then?
I think
is your style quite abrasive?
If it's offensive, then it's not comedy. I don't think.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh, a little bit of a mind fuck there. No, I think if you're offended. It's you that are offended. Yeah. I don't think the person if it's done well. So for example, like that guy with this, like he'd done the lead up to the Sikh, and then you know what it's now. That's done well. So if someone's coming out like
who's?
Let's get her in. Let's get her on.
Oh mate!
What time are you gonna come home?
Oh mate, no.
What's going on? It's like everyone. I'm waiting for my mum to call now.
Yeah, still recording. Oh no, she's a proper MILF. Like, what the fuck do you want from me? We've talked about this multiple times.
I think we are talking about mums quite a lot.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I'm waiting for my mum to call in.
That was just Mona's mum being like, when are you guys going to talk about me? Preet's talked a lot about his mum. He's a good boy. When is it my turn?
Oh wow!
But yeah, offending.
Yeah, I think if you're doing it well, then it's down to the other person you get. Because these days you can offend people by saying hello. Like if you're on the tube and everyone's silent and someone goes, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm offended. Don't touch me. Yeah, don't talk to me. Don't look at me like that. So where do you draw the line of offend? I'm sure some people find my comedy in certain points offending, but it's not because I'm right. And no, I mean, I wouldn't class myself as an offensive comedian, although I've had this one, apart from one incident, I was doing a tour just recently, like last year actually, and I shouldn't even said it was a tour actually, I should just, because you'll know now, but I had an email after one of the gigs saying that, I came down with my mother-in-law, and straight away there, I'm like, yeah, you should not have done that. Number one. But she physically tried to find my email, because my email and stuff wasn't on the flyers and all that. So she's taken the time to find my email, to write this email out and say, I came to your show this evening, and I was really disappointed. I was there with my mother-in-law, and I think you should change your material to suit the crowd, this sort of thing, and I found it really offensive. And like probably the most offensive thing that I say is probably banjo. Like that is maybe
means sister fucker. Yeah.
Yeah. But when you say you say it out in English and it's offensive, right? But when you say it in Punjabi, it's one of the. It's like
it's almost like fuck, innit? Like
but it's used in many different ways. Like we be like, okay, da bench, like that. That is like, all right, what's up, bro? Like that. It could be like that. Yeah. Right. No, but it's used in so many contexts, right? And and I wasn't even. I don't think I was the most. I definitely wasn't the most offensive comedian that night.
Yeah.
And but what's on the flyer is it's just not a family show. It's not like I'm not doing Kapil Sharma comedy nights and all this. It's like if they I'm not like that guy on ZTV doing like all family all look family. It's like if you expect that, then you haven't clearly looked at the flyer. Number one, and you haven't seen the not suitable for anyone under 16 or 18 or whatever, because it's all written on all the flyers normally. So I think that the offense lies with the audience and their preconcept. Because like I could say something that could be offensive to maybe 2% of the audience.
Yeah.
So are they saying that 98% of that audience is wrong?
Yeah.
So it depends. I think also the other side is you can be up there going effing and blinding or calling out, being Bernard Manning or something, whatever that is, and then that can be effective because that's not. There's no real jokes there. It's just literally calling out that brown bastard or that packy, or you're just saying derogative terms without any content and context.
Yeah.
Because I use the word packy in one of my jokes, but there's a story to it, and there's a setup and then a punch. Yeah. And it's not actually. I'm being called.
It's not the actual word that's funny. It's the actual overall joke.
Yeah, and the offense isn't in that word either.
Yeah.
So I think that comes from people's perception and what they like coming to expect. Yeah. You wouldn't go to like a Jimmy Carr gig.
Yeah.
And then think, oh, I'm really offended by that. Because he goes over the edge, and that's what people expect. Yeah. But if you're going to go there and then say and come out and do a review and say, oh, I was so offended by these jokes.
Yeah,
you're in the wrong place.
Yeah, I'm super with you.
So I don't think comedy can be offensive. It's either the audience or the person saying it. So I think you can do offensive jokes, but you need to do it in the right way.
Yeah. You were speaking about diversity quotas earlier as well.
Yeah.
And
don't get me started.
No, hey man. This was the one point that I was like, it's a must to cover, because I think we share similar, from the brief exchange we had, I reckon we share similar views on it. And Lawrence Fox was talking about diversity quotas as well. So,
well, the thing is that he's talking from a different perspective of it being. Well, I don't think diversity. First of all, I don't think diversity quotas are a good thing at all.
Yes. Okay. So we agree.
That's good. Right. So I can stay on this podcast. No. I think it's crap. It's just another thing, another box that someone has to tick. It's like doing that. That form, like HR form when you go for an interview or something like that, and they want you to fill in what background you are, whether you're male or female, with what religion you are, and it's like, how is that going to help you decide whether I'm good enough for that job or I'm good enough for whatever I'm going, or a passport or whatever it is, right? That's for you to tell me that we're going to judge you. Yes. Based on this piece of paper, we're going to judge what kind of background you have, what kind of person you are. And it's the same in media. They have these quotas to fill. Why? Because we're not allowed too many ethnics in one. And that's exactly what Lawrence Fox is kind of going at. It's like, we shouldn't have so many of them here, and we shouldn't have to fill that gap. And it's completely right. If he was right about the fact that Sikhs were not in the World War, and someone stuck a Sikh in the world, I'll be completely like, yeah, that's correct. There shouldn't be a Sikh guy in there. It's the same as the Oscars, and the people shouldn't win because of the color of the skin or the gender that they are. They should win with the talent that they bring to the table. I wouldn't, if I was going to do a sitcom tomorrow, and I wouldn't pick people based on, oh, we need a white person, we need a Chinese person, we need a black person. I'd bring them to the table for what they can bring to the table.
Merits, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're crap, you're crap. You're not coming on it.
Yes.
And that should be the basis. It's not about, it's the same, in anything. I don't know if Lawrence has watched EastEnders, because there's only one of them in the background as well. And up until recently.
Yeah.
But they're not really Sikhs, so I don't...
Oh, they misappropriate culture. Let's get them out.
Why didn't I get that job, man? Why?
There's two of us here. We could be the Singh brothers.
We could have been the Singh brothers, yeah. But I mean, again, it's just like... That to me always feels like the Singh in the background was always to fill their quota.
Token, yeah.
And to be a token is like, this is the thing. He's probably never, the reason why that woman called him white and privileged, he's never had to work as hard as ethnic minorities have to get to the same part. And he's obviously gonna, and there's probably a lot of other non-ethnics out there that are gonna actually say, well, that's all in your head. It's all in your head because they think it's all in our head because they don't experience it.
Yes. And I think there's another flip side to that coin, which is I look at it certain industries, and I think, oh, okay, there's a lack of talent from ethnic communities. Let's take football.
Yeah.
Right? Football as an example. There was a massive study done that in all levels of football, all the way up to like under 8s or whatever, slowly brown people get filtered out.
Right.
And the question was, why is that?
Yeah.
Right? And unfortunately, the answer to that was brown people have less opportunities because of attitudes. And one of the things was attitudes towards their own community.
Yeah.
I used to, football and stuff was never a priority.
Yeah.
In my... Oh, shit as well. But the football was never a priority, or sports was never a priority.
Sure.
In our family, it was always school.
Yeah.
Do this.
The same.
And it's the exact same with everybody else.
Yeah.
But then I can't turn around and be like, well, I could have been a fucking Premier League footballer, had these racists, let me. Like, do you get what I'm saying? That'd just be like absolute bullshit.
No, but okay, but there's a lot of talent out there that is passed over because they haven't got a profile. How do you get? It's like that thing where you come out of university, you can't get a job because you haven't got experience. You need experience to get a job. So how do you get that experience without getting the job?
But what I would say is now, especially in, let's say, football, it's changing.
Okay.
Right, where it's like, because even in your ends, they started up that Southall.
That's not my ends, by the way. But yeah,
I mean, come on, wherever the fucking ends is, isn't it?
Yeah.
West,
the ends, isn't it?
West fucking London, bro. Ali G West till I die, right?
How's that? Yeah, go on.
So like they've now got a drive where it's like, okay, let's make sure that we actually nurture the talents in our own communities.
Yeah,
and I do think that's a very important part.
It's definitely, I think it does also help from the other side when you've got your own community behind you. I think it's changing now, but it's a shame because I mean, when I started doing comedy or anything in entertainment, there was no one really out there. There's especially no one there with a beard and turban.
Yeah.
And all right, fine. Given I didn't have a beard and turban then, but even like you could count them on your hands. And it's the same when you go out there now. Like if you're, I've been in meetings and they can count the brown people, and it's normally the same 4 or 5 they're the only ones that have slipped through the net and filled that quota. It's like, well, that's it's not representative of the country.
Yeah.
And B, you shouldn't just get them because they're the brown person or they're the black person.
So I think there should be. Sorry.
I was just going to say that the other side is Asian communities and ethnic communities. They should push it a little bit more, and especially these days, having a degree doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Like you spend all that money and you can still come out with all that debt, and it's kind of a conditioning that education is key to having, whereas life is as an education as well. And if I ever have kids, I wouldn't push them in that. I'd let them find a direction. Yeah, okay. People say, you should always have a degree, but that's what I came from. Education. You should always have an education to fall back on, this, that. But this is the thing. We're always seeing as Asian communities, we're always seeing it as a fallback. It's never, this is like a hobby. Yeah. Like doing entertainment is like a hobby. It's a phase or something like that. Yeah. But it should be a real thing. It's only if we believe it that we can push that forward as well.
Totally with it. Yeah, 100%. I knew we were going to fucking agree on diversity quotas.
But I still got to go back to my day job, innit?
Yeah, I mean, same, man. Like,
when you don't pay the bills.
Got to pay the bills, get that fucking BMW.
Right, BMW on it, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you know Juggy, you know Juggy.
Yeah, bro, Juggy with the beans and that, yeah.
Got the fat rims and
he's got that jock number plate, man. Bro. You just see him rolling down. Fat speakers, bro.
Pop-up E-line and king, innit?
You need that, fam. Creative and shit sick, but the boys ain't gonna give you ratings unless you got a BMW, fam, yeah?
You have spent some time there, that's good. Yeah.
I have. Well, in
Brunel, yeah, that's it, yeah.
I used to know a bunch of people like that, fam.
They're like caricaturing themselves, man.
I fucking love it. I love it. You know, the Kandar tattoo on the chest.
And they're the least Kandar people as
well. A Kandar tattoo in liquid Uxbridge.
With the Jack Daniels and Coke.
Yeah. But oh, fam, don't worry, I'll go on Sunday, fam. Don't worry,
yeah. Clean that shit off.
Oh, yeah. Get that part going. Well, Hyde, we've been talking for fucking ages.
We have.
This is the first time I've... Oh, no, I fucking loved it, man. It's the first time I cried on the podcast.
You cried in a good way.
Yeah, I was crying about that.
Oh, she's awake now.
Yeah. I told you it's gonna be a good podcast when Sabs falls asleep.
Is that what it is?
On the sofa, yeah.
I just got in, I thought that's literally my gigs. They just fall
Just turn the camera around. Let's just get her on. Just slowly turn the camera around. Fuck it.
No, I've just woken up. I've got bed hair.
She's like, oh my god.
That's Sabs. That's the mascot.
Yeah, that's the mascot.
Samosa Chats.
Well, Hyde Panaser, lovely to fucking meet you.
Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome.